let's chat a little about vaccines. Deploying vaccines to people in the US and around the world will test and strain distribution networks. It'll test the public trust, and it'll definitely require global cooperation. Some believe it will take months, others years, to reach enough people to make the world safe. So for those who do manage to get one of the vaccines being developed, how long do you think it will take for them to develop some level of immunity?
I mean, I think the vaccine story is amazing, right? Because we went from doing a sequence on a virus to getting a vaccine into humans in 62 days. I mean, that was just unbelievable. That has never happened. We are now in phase 3 trials in several vaccines. And that, again, is just incredible how quickly that is going. So I like the way the vaccine has moved, the vaccine research and world has moved in this disease so quickly. I think we all need to be proud of. Having said that, I'm also a realist, and I see several things. Number one, we are testing vaccines in new technologies and new platforms of which we've never approved a vaccine for. So we're almost like, developing new airplanes, but they happen to be rockets, right? And we've never tried them. They're really fast, but again, we are, if this works and the technology works, it's going to change this vaccine world, but there's no track record of an mRNA vaccine or an adenovirus vaccine going all the way to approval and being used in humans. And that, I think, is one of the big challenges, right? I mean, we're in totally unknown territory. Number two, developing vaccines for respiratory viruses is notoriously difficult. And as I was saying, in influenza, we get vaccines with 40 to 60% efficacy. Here, the FDA has said, we're looking for a vaccine for 50% efficacy. So it's not going to be a vaccine as good as the HPV vaccine, which is 100% effective, or the measles vaccine. It's going to be a 50% efficacious vaccine. It's going to be an okay vaccine, but not a perfect vaccine. It's going to be one of those that you say, it gives you some protection, but it doesn't protect you 100%. And then number three is what you're talking about, right? The distribution, the deployment is going to be an enormous challenge. And it's going to be a challenge, number one, because some of these vaccines require refrigeration. Some of them require even -70 refrigerator. And so we don't have the cold chain capacity right now. I think about some refrigerator vaccines, the Zostavax vaccine, which is a wonderful vaccine, the Zoster vaccine, has had a very little uptake, in great part because it's frozen, and you need to unfreeze it before you give it to somebody. So planning of administering that vaccine in clinic, it's very complicated from the pharmacy. Well, the same thing is going to happen with this vaccine. So there is not it's not going to be easy to do. It's not like you can do just, vaccine runs in the community when a vaccine that needs a -70, unless you happen to go around with your, nitrogen freezer with you, and then you have to unfreeze it and all that stuff. Then number two is getting it out there to, if we're going to, we think about herd immunity. If we're going to have 60 to 70% of the population immune between natural infection and vaccine, let's suppose with natural infection, we have right now 15, let's say 20% of the population immune. We still need 40% of the population immune through the vaccine. Well, to get 40% of the population immune for the vaccine that has 50% efficacy, you got to vaccinate 80% of the population. So, it's going to take us some time to get there. It's not going to be, and that's why I tell people, when people say, oh, we got to do all these things until we have a vaccine. No, once we have a vaccine, we got to apply, we have to deploy, we have to get acceptability of that vaccine. It's going to take time. It's not going to be straightforward. I think it's going to be not an insurmountable challenge, but it's not going to be a small challenge. And I think all of us are really worried about, how quickly can this possibly be done in a way that is safe and effective.